Item Number SCP-173 Object Class Euclid Special Containment Procedures Item SCP-173 is to be kept in a locked container at all times. When personnel must enter SCP-173's container, no fewer than 3 may enter at any time, and the door is to be relocked behind them. At all times, 2 persons must maintain direct eye contact with SCP-173 until all personnel have vacated and relocked the container. Description: Moved to Site-19, 1993. Origin is as of yet unknown. It is constructed from concrete and rebar, with traces of Krylon brand spray paint. SCP-173 is animate and extremely hostile. The object cannot move while within a direct line of sight. Line of sight must not be broken at any time with SCP-173. Personnel assigned to enter container are instructed to alert one another before blinking. Object is reported to attack by snapping the neck at the base of the skull, or by strangulation. In the event of an attack, personnel are to observe Class 4 Hazardous Object Containment Procedures. Personnel report sounds of scraping stone originating from within the container when no one is present inside. This is considered normal, and any change in this behavior should be reported to the acting HMCL supervisor on duty. The reddish-brown substance on the floor is a combination of feces and blood. Origin of these materials is unknown. The enclosure must be cleaned on a bi-weekly basis. Item Number SCP-513 Object Class Euclid Special Containment Procedures SCP-513 is to be suspended in a 1 cubic meter block of gelatin and contained within a soundproofed, climate-controlled cell. The gelatin must be inspected daily for any degradation or loss of integrity. An emergency inspection will be carried out immediately following any earthquake, explosion, or sonic event Grade 2 or higher. Personnel performing the inspection are to wear earplugs and active noise-canceling earmuffs at all times while inside SCP-513's cell. If the gelatin cube shows any signs of degradation, such as rips, tears, splits, liquefaction, or mold, SCP-513 is to be immediately removed and suspended within a replacement cube by a team of surgically deafened Class D personnel. No other personnel are to enter the cell during this procedure. Any sentient beings exposed to SCP-513 are to be monitored by at least 2 security personnel at all times. Under absolutely no circumstances may exposure victims be administered sedatives or allowed to fall unconscious. Any victim who does fall unconscious is to be terminated immediately. Class D personnel are to be terminated at the first sign of mental degradation. All other exposure victims may be terminated at their request. If possible, SCP-513-1 is to be apprehended on site. Description: Physically, SCP-513 is an unremarkable, rusty cowbell. No marks or engravings are visible on its surface due to the large amount of corrosion. Attempts to remove the rust chemically or mechanically have had no success. SCP-513 was recovered by Agent while carrying out a containment re-establishment procedure at Site. SCP-513's clapper was firmly held in place by several strips of duct tape. A single scrap of paper was found along with SCP-513. See Addendum. Any noise produced by SCP-513 immediately induces strong anxiety in all sentient beings who hear it, regardless of their previous mental status. Exposure victims report feelings of being watched by an unseen entity and present elevated heart rates and blood pressure. Roughly 1 hour after exposure victims begin to catch glimpses of SCP-513-1 when opening doors, walking past mirrors, turning their heads, or performing any other actions that result in a sudden change in visual perception. Upon being sighted, SCP-513-1 reportedly turns away and runs out of view before disappearing without a trace. Questioning of bystanders indicates that SCP-513-1 is invisible to those who have not been exposed to SCP-513. Sightings of SCP-513-1 reoccur every 14 to 237 minutes. This stalking behavior inevitably causes extreme sleep deprivation, as victims are frequently disturbed by SCP-513-1's presence in their quarters. Victims able to fall asleep before SCP-513-1's appearance report being physically assaulted by it. Upon the victim's awakening, SCP-513-1 flees as usual. See Experiment Log 513. This sleep deprivation, along with the mental stress caused by SCP-513-1's behavior, invariably induces paranoia, aggression, hypervigilance, and depression. All test cases but one have ended with the test subject's suicide. Descriptions of SCP-513-1's appearance are largely unreliable. Test subjects are unable to provide complete accounts of sightings due to their exhaustion, degraded mental health, and disruptive hypervigilance. However, all interrogations thus far indicate that SCP-513-1 is a tall, emaciated humanoid with abnormally large hands. Addendum. Text recovered from Site. You've seen it. Now he can hear you. You've touched it. Now he can see you. Never ring it. If you hear it, he can touch you. Item Number: SCP-1020. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. All components of SCP-1020 are to be kept in a storage locker at Sector. The interior of the locker should be monitored by remote video feed at all times. A United States Postmaster General approved mailbox is to be maintained along an active United States Postal Service pickup and delivery route at the closest possible point to Sector. Currently, this mailbox is to be emptied following every active state of SCP-1020, and the resulting letter read and destroyed unless any details in the letter bear further investigation. Description: SCP-1020 consists of the following items: a stack of 11 newspapers, a pair of scissors, a jar of rubber cement-style adhesive, a sheaf of 30 sheets of blank white paper, a box of 30 plain letter-sized envelopes, a black ballpoint pen, and a book of 20 stamps. See Addendum SCP-1020-01. The individual components of SCP-1020 cannot be moved more than 4.5 meters away from each other, nor can any barriers be put in place that would prevent the items' interaction. Any attempt to do so meets an unidentified matching force opposing the action. Once every 7 to 22 days, SCP-1020 enters an active state. The newspapers are opened and scattered, and the scissors apparently levitate and cut out letters and words from the newspapers. The rubber cement is uncapped and the adhesive is applied to the cutout segments, which are affixed to one or more sheets of paper. The pen scrawls an address on an envelope in shaky letters. About 1 minute later, all pages of the note are folded and inserted into the envelope. The envelope seals, and a stamp is affixed to it. The envelope then vanishes, and reappears in the nearest U.S. Postmaster General approved mailbox on an active mail pickup route. All letters follow the format of a stereotypical ransom note. The supposed writer of the letter claims I, or we, have possession of one or more individuals important to the addressee, and makes demands that are to be met at a certain place and time in exchange for the victim's safe return. Letters occasionally contain misspellings. Removing the envelope from the mailbox in which it appears, otherwise preventing its delivery to the addressee, reading the envelope, or opening the envelope and reading the letter inside all appear to produce no ill effects. If the letter is read by the addressee, the stated victim or victims will immediately vanish, regardless of the victim's location or activity at the time. Meeting the demands of a letter produced by SCP-1020 invariably results in the return of the victim within 24 hours to their place of disappearance or another nearby safe location, unharmed and with no memory of the time they were gone. Recipients are chosen seemingly at random. Letters rarely make demands involving money, and in those cases, the money carries personal value to the recipient or victim. Intercepted letters' demands have included the following: destruction of family's only vehicle by fire in a local parking lot for return of son, tattooing of a cryptic phrase on the palm of recipient's left hand at a specific tattoo parlor for return of husband, cash withdrawal of daughter's entire college fund, followed by random distribution of said cash to strangers at Central Park in New York City for return of said daughter, injection of HIV-infected blood into recipient's own veins in exchange for wife. Basic internet search of intended recipient's name indicates he holds an MD and works at hospital in. No victims have ever been recovered in cases where the demands were not met. Addendum 1020-01 Examination of Components. A close examination of components of SCP-1020 reveals several anomalous features. All destroyed or used components are replaced apparently via teleportation from the nearest available source within 1 minute. There appear to be no range limits on this phenomenon, and research involving destruction of the scissors in particular has been discontinued, due to general inconvenience for all sector staff. Additional anomalous properties follow. Newspapers. Titles and all other text appear to be gibberish, with seemingly random words strung together and interspersed with spaces and punctuation. This attribute applies even to new newspapers that have replaced destroyed ones in the collection via teleportation. Replacement newspapers are still recognizable by photographic content, font styles, and layout. SCP-1020 shows no preference for any particular publication, simply taking the necessary number of mostly complete newspapers from as nearby as possible to maintain a collection of 11 total. Rubber cement. No amount of force yet applied by researchers can open or break the jar. Forces tested are up to newtons. The adhesive itself comes from an unknown source, as no rubber cement is commonly used on site. Book of Stamps. Individual stamps appear to be teleported directly into the book. SCP-1020 will only take modern stamps in this way. The total number of stamps in the book has never dropped below 12. Incident 1020-01. On 2000, at approximately 12:30 p.m. local time, a driver struck and effectively destroyed the mailbox located on road, placed there for collection of SCP-1020's letters. A subsequent interview revealed the driver was intoxicated, and there is no indication of any influence by SCP-1020 or any other outside agent. However, timestamp data on footage of SCP-1020 reveals that within 4 seconds, SCP-1020 became extremely active, drafting and teleporting a page letter in less than 2 minutes. Prior research had revealed the location of the next nearest mailbox, and an MTF was dispatched. Mail pickup had already occurred, and the local post office had to be shut down for approximately 1 hour until the target letter was recovered. An image of the letter's first page and envelope front are available for viewing. Blacked out portions and subsequent pages give extremely detailed instructions on how to infiltrate Sector, including staffing details, passcodes, and instructions on how to breach containment on several Euclid-level SCP items, with the end goal of covertly liberating and relocating all components of SCP-1020 to a condemned house in. Note:
this was a blatant escape attempt, indicating sapience. Yes, it was a very stupid escape attempt. But as illogical as this will sound, we are apparently dealing with something that is simultaneously stupid and omniscient, for an unknown value of omniscience. Given just how much inadvertent damage could be caused by another stupid escape attempt coupled with some bad luck, and averted for the price of placing several backup mailboxes, I'm submitting a request for a very slight budget increase.
Signed, Dr. What's up, everybody? This is the Lone Wolf here. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to episode 1 of another new series on my channel called the SCP Files. There will be links to all 3 of the SCPs read in this video in the description below for anybody who wants to check them out. Anyways, if you guys liked the video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, especially if you're new to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications and join the Lone Wolf Pack. If anybody wishes to reach out to me regarding personal stories, recommendations, advice about the channel, or just to say hi, feel free to leave a comment on any of my videos or send me a direct message on any of my social media platforms. There will be links to my email, Twitter, Discord server, Instagram, and TikTok in the description. For anyone interested in the music, all of the tracks used in this video will be listed in the description below. along with links to the artists that created them. Until next time, stay spooky. And remember, the hunt begins when the moon is full. Sweet dreams.